So just what is a ratio anyway, and why would you want to express it in lowest terms? Well, you see ratios all the time for things like the slope of a roof or the size of a drill bit. And you also hear ratios all the time on TV. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend toothpaste X. Or there's some sort of tartar control gum that most dentists recommend. And you'd want to express a ratio in lowest terms because it makes a lot more sense to hear things like 4 out of 5. You can conceptualize that or grasp it in your head rather than hearing 60 out of 75 dentists recommend toothpaste X. So I've got a ratio right here. 4 out of 8. 4 out of 8. And we're not talking about dentists, although I guess we could be. But let's take a nice visual look at this ratio with some squares. Here I've got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares. So I have 8 total. And I have 4 of them filled. So I'll color those in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you take a look at the filled squares and the unfilled squares, you can sort of see that I have filled in half of the total squares. Half are filled and half, well, they aren't filled. So it turns out that the ratio 4 out of 8 expressed in lowest terms is 1 out of 2, or in other words, 1/2. So what we're looking for is a trend between these numbers, 4 and 1, and 8 and 2. So see if you can see some sort of trend there, and we'll try another example. 15 out of 35. Now I won't go ahead and draw all the squares because, well, that's a lot of squares. I need to draw 35 of those squares. But what we're doing to put something like this in lowest terms is we're trying to find the largest number that we can divide into both of these numbers, the 15 and the 35. So I'm going to write down the 15 and the 35. And the largest number that I can think of that goes into 15 and 35 is 5. So what I'm effectively doing is dividing both of these numbers by 5. And that's how we express a ratio in lowest terms. 15 divided by 5, well, that's 3. And 35 divided by 5, that's 7. Now I can't go any further. There's no other number that I can divide nicely into both 3 and 7. So this is in lowest terms. Do you feel up for a challenge? How about you try this ratio? 4 out of 20. Try and solve or put 4 out of 20 in lowest terms the same way I showed you with this example here. Four out of 20 expressed in lowest terms is 1 out of 5, or 1/5. And we divided both numbers by 4. That's the largest number that divides evenly into both 4 and 20.